There's a city in Europe with the world's biggest dome, the longest staircase, fountains that have run for over 2,000 years, and a stadium built faster than this construction project I am on right now. Yeah, I can't believe that's actually true. Hi, I'm Ben, an assistant site manager working on a £22 million construction site, and what blows my mind is how difficult it is to build houses. Yeah, I'm scrolling on social media and I see these incredibly ancient structures and I think, how the hell did they build that all those years ago and it's still standing? Like, it's pretty mind-blowing. My mission is simple: break down history's greatest city with the 6 most famous buildings and ask the question if we can even build them today with modern technology. This is going to be fascinating, so without further ado, let's go to Rome. First stop is the Trevi Fountain, world famous for its beauty but also its secrets, because nobody actually knows how it works. I think it is time for the first builder's review. Here's how the Trevi Fountain really works. Water starts at a natural spring miles outside the city. From there, it travels through an underground channel the Romans built more than 2,000 years ago. No pump, no electricity, just gravity. Beneath the fountain, a hidden reservoir regulates the pressure, so the flow you see today is the exact same system the Romans used all those years ago. That's pretty wild, and so is the biggest staircase in Europe. It's gonna blow your mind, but I'll get onto it in a minute. Just had food in Rome. It was lovely. I had a delicious lasagna and I gobbled it up, and now we're in what feels like a different part of Rome. We are walking around cathedrals, nice buildings and architecture, Asian architecture. Feels quite nice, to be honest. Walking through here, completely different vibe to what we had a little bit earlier on. It's chaotic. There was just people everywhere. Tomorrow we're going to see the Colosseum and I'm gassed to see that. That's going to be awesome. But for now, let's talk about Europe's most famous staircase. The Spanish steps weren't designed as just stairs. They're a series of platforms stitched together, linking 2 completely different parts of the city. That's the genius behind it. Wide terraces that feel more like a stage than a climb. It's just pretty awesome, and so is the city. I'm at the top of Rome. I have made it. The only weird thing about the Spanish steps is that it's actually illegal to sit on them. So instead, I found the coolest Starbucks in Italy, which literally had a cocktail bar to spend the afternoon, and it was pretty awesome. But it's nothing compared to what's coming up next. Can you ask yourself if you've ever seen the most awesome hotel in Rome broken down by a builder? No? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I had a good sleep. I put my inspection clothes on, and now it is time for, of course, Builder's Review. Starting off with the key card, I want to scan it and enter straight in. Coming here then, we can see we've got moulding along the walls, which gives a nice high quality finish. Same with the door here as well. So this is all really nice. Walking into the bathroom, this is a really cool area. I really like this place. We've got nice robes behind the door that I might use a little bit later. But not for right now. As you come in, we've got nice IPS panels here. So this is a marble finish, hiding all of the plumbing that you would use for the toilet. Lovely sink here. We've got an awesome tap, a place to hold your toothbrush. Leaving the bathroom then and entering what feels like heaven. But not just because of the massive windows bringing in natural light. Also, look how big you can open these windows, by the way. You would never see that in the UK. The awesome feature lighting around the bulkhead and bed rest is awesome. The big bed along with the big TV, and to finish it all off, the pelmet to hide the bracket the curtains hang off. This hotel room is really cool. The breakfast bar was also sick, which was definitely needed today as we were entering the Colosseum. Good morning, everyone. As you can see, we are at the Colosseum today. I am just standing outside of it now, and it is looking absolutely incredible. I'm really excited to go inside. We're going inside today. This morning I woke up, had a good workout, had some lovely food, and I'm fueled up, ready for the day. So we're going to go inside now and see what this bad boy has to offer. I'm excited. Now, whilst I have your attention, can I ask quickly for you to subscribe on the channel, because it helps me more than you can even imagine. Thank you. The arena that once could be flooded to sail ships inside, built with such accuracy, it still blows engineers' minds today. Made out of travertine stone and Roman concrete that literally gets harder over time. Just look at the size of those blocks. How on earth did they get those all the way up there all those years ago? It survived earthquakes and 2,000 years of history. The real question is, how on earth is it still standing today? I have made it to the top of the Colosseum. Look at that. That is so cool. The Colosseum isn't a perfect circle, it's an oval, and that was a genius decision. The shape brings more people closer to the action, makes it easier to move 50,000 spectators in and out, and spreads the weight of the structure so it could survive for 2,000 years. The more you look into this, the better it becomes. It's pretty wild, and so is this unreinforced concrete dome, the biggest in the world, and we don't actually know how the Romans pulled it off. I can't wait to see it. But first, we have to visit the ruins of the ancient empire. This is a fairly high point of Rome, and it gives you a good perspective of like all the Roman ancient buildings that were built 2,000 plus years ago. It's pretty phenomenal, to be honest. This is where temples and markets and government halls were all packed into one place. Today it feels like scattered stone, but back then it was the heart of an empire. And seeing this has made me realize we've advanced massively in technology, but the Romans remind us that sometimes ancient ideas were more durable and in some cases still unbeatable to this very day. I thought it was super cool to see, but what does my mum think about it all? Why are you looking at me? Now we're in a rooftop restaurant, I think it's fair to say. By me, I'm looking out to a nice view of some lovely skies of Italy. What are 3 things that you learned today when you went to see the Colosseum?
I don't know what facts I've learned.
Okay, well I've learned some cool facts. So they actually used crocodiles when the animals were fighting, which was pretty cool. We ended the evening playing Uno, which was class, and we had an early sleep because tomorrow we had the Vatican City. Now, despite the fact that it's really popular and there's a lot of hype around the tiniest city in the world, I mean, look how many people are here. Oh my god. The Asian paintings on the wall were cool to see, but it didn't really excite me much. Wow. What really did impress me though is some of the buildings around Rome. After the Vatican City, we went on an absolute gander and it was incredible. Some of the buildings we saw were truly awesome to see and they really impressed me. And then finally, we came across the Pantheon, and as soon as I saw it, I knew exactly what time it was. Builders Review. Alright, we have found another Italian monument on our travels in Rome. Look at this bad boy. Look at the columns, look at the bricks, look at the holes in the bricks up the top. It's pretty magnificent. Another magnificent building in Rome we have came to see, and we have seen it. The Pantheon is the home to the largest unreinforced concrete dome in the entire world. A perfect half sphere, 43 meters across, built heavier at the base and lighter at the top with volcanic rock mixed in. The whole, or also known as the ocleus at the center of the sphere, relieves weight and floods the space with light. 2,000 years later, no steel, no machines, and it's still standing. But the question is, could we even build it today? The answer is yes, but only with our technology. It's fair to say the Romans are ingenious. And that is pretty much Rome complete. We had a nice meal and spent the evening beside the Colosseum all lit up, which was awesome. So now it's time for our final review. Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, the 30th of July today. Time is moving quickly and we have finished our time in Rome. I thought the architecture of Rome was a lot wider, the streets were wider, there was a lot more like ancient ruins and there was a bit more history here. Would you agree?
I think we were all quite surprised at how spread out Rome was. Everything is all spread out and how far you have to walk to get from one landmark to the next landmark. But we did get to see the Colosseum last night, all lit up,
yeah,
which was nice. Nice experience.
Colosseum was incredible though,
Colosseum,
wasn't it?
Yeah. That a highlight for me.
Yeah, that was a highlight.
Pantheon was good. Spanish Steps
Didn't think much of that.
A
Didn't know
little
what
bit
was your-
underwhelming, I suppose.
I remember walking to it and I was like, wait, this is it?
Yeah,
I was
it's a
like,
bit-
what? Alright then, okay, out of 10, Rome.
Oh, I'd 100% come again.
Really?
I loved it. I loved Rome. I would 100% come again.
Vibe in Rome was great, it felt safe, and ultimately it was just an awesome city. Me and the family gave it a 4.9 out of 5, which I thought was pretty amazing. So with that said, thank you for watching. If you did enjoy, please like and subscribe because it helps me more than you can even imagine. Thank you for making it this far into the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.